Welcome guys. Being able to quickly tell where you're getting shot from is a critically important skill to have in a game like PUBG, as once you start getting hit, you're quickly dead. In this video, I'll share all my knowledge about this topic and better enable you to be able to quickly react to incoming enemy fire. The first and absolutely most important thing to do is to make sure that HRTF is enabled in your sound settings. This setting will significantly increase the precision of directional sounds of guns in the game. I made a video specifically about this setting some time ago, but in short, without HRTF, gun sounds will only have 3 directions: left, right, front, back. This actually means that the same sound will be played in front and behind you, which makes it much harder to hear where the bullet is coming from. With HRTF, the directional sound is smoothly panning around you, and here you can also tell if the sound is coming in front or from the back. The next thing we're going to talk about is bullet whizzing. It's part of the basic gun sound system in PUBG, but there might be more detail in this sound system than you are aware of. When a bullet passes closely by you and misses, you can clearly hear the bullet whizzing past your ear and hear which side of your head the bullet was passing by. This whizzing sound is disabled at close range to avoid cluttering up the audio too much. This will not be your main source of information as to know where you get shot from, but it sounds cool, and who knows if you get into a situation where this could help you identify where your enemy shooter is. Next up is supersonic sounds and bullet crack. This doesn't really work properly in PUBG, and so I'll explain how it does work in PUBG. In PUBG, all suppressed weapons almost sounds as if the gun is using subsonic ammunition, meaning you'll have little or no supersonic crack in the sound. I think this decision was made so as to make suppressors stealthier and make it harder for the enemy to hear where the shot came from. A normal, non-suppressed shot will often have a noticeably supersonic crack in the air. Just listen to the Kar 98 here. When an enemy doesn't use a suppressor, you'll often be able to hear this supersonic crack. And since this sound effect can also be quite long while remaining directional, you can turn your head around to hear where the sound is originating from. This is an important thing to know when identifying gun sound direction, and something you should get used to doing whenever you're searching for the direction of a gun sound. There are very few actual subsonic weapons in the game, but the Tommy gun is one of them at a slow 280 meters per second, which is well below the speed of sound that lies at around 340 meters per second. But even here, you can hear a supersonic crack when not using a suppressor. So as a rule of thumb, in PUBG, whenever a gun is suppressed, you will have either very little or no supersonic cracking effect. And when a gun does not have a suppressor, you'll always have a supersonic cracking sound of varying magnitudes. And this sonic crack is directional and can be used to help identify the direction of the shot. Another thing that's important to mention here is that suppressors have no gun flash, and gun flashes are very important to locate the exact spot of where your enemy is shooting from. A flash hider will only reduce the magnitude of the flash, and a compensator or no attachment will have maximum gun flash. And this really is the main selling point for me when picking up a suppressor. But there are also situations where you can't hear anything. What if you're being shot at by a weapon with no gun flash, no supersonic crack, and no gun sound? This is terrifying and often what you'll experience if being attacked by a player using a VSS. Here you'll need to use other informations, such as where the bullets are impacting, because sometimes by looking at the bullet impact, you can get an idea of where the shot came from. But there is also a directional impact system that will give you information about where you got hit. Blood and screen shake is directional, so by simply paying attention to this, you can get important information that will help you when trying to find cover behind a tree when being shot by a completely silent weapon. And lastly, in order to pinpoint the position of the shooter, a direction can't stand alone. You also need a distance. Now we know how to judge the direction. What about the distance? Distance judging in PUBG is all about knowing and understanding the sounds of the guns. This is something you'll learn with experience. Gun sounds doesn't just get reduced in volume with distance, but the actual sound also changes. So sadly, there's no magical approach here. Experience is the key. But very often you can rely on visual information such as the flash of a gun, and often when simply looking at the environment, it becomes pretty clear to know where a shooter would be as long as you have the direction. Good luck out there, and I hope you found this video helpful. PUBG is getting old, but I want to keep making videos like this for other games too in the future. Subscribe if you want to be part of that journey, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, we're dealing with a VSS. He moved. Oh, it's Sanagi. There he is. Took me some time. Ow. Good shots. It took me some time because it's hard to judge the distance, and on Sanag it's really hard to spot people. So, but we found him. You often just look at the impacts on the ground. That's very helpful actually to pinpoint where an enemy is.